Hi, I'm Meera Allen with your Manifesting Destiny Moon Update, and welcome to your full moon, super moon in Pisces moon update. I am going to give you the times as usual. So it is going to be London, 31st of August at 2:35 in the morning. Sydney and Brisbane, Australia, 31st of August at 11:35 in the morning. LA, it's 30th of August at 6:35 p.m. New York is the 30th of August at 9:35 p.m. Now, Pisces is the sign that's very, very evolved. It's already been through all the other stages of its incarnations until it gets to this completion, this intuitive knowing, the psychic part of ourselves that have gone through a lot of experiences and we've gained a lot of wisdom. That's what the Pisces represents. It's the evolution of life, those two fish that are rolling through. So where does that leave us when it's a double? It's a blue moon and a super moon, so it's a double whammy, where we have two full moons in 1 month, and the super moon is also when it's closer to the Earth, and it's also ruled by Jupiter, Pisces. So it leaves us in a part of us that knows how to be in the higher self, knows how to be more evolved, knows with whom and where to spend energy and time. And I wanted to read a little bit from Yasmin Boland's Moonology of what she actually wrote in her card. So I'm going to do two cards today. One is going to come from the Rebecca Campbell Light deck, and the other one is going to come from this Moonology deck. But I have actually pulled out the full moon in Pisces card. So I will just that for you. I'll show you the actual card itself. Here it is. You can read that, and it literally says balance, spirituality and practicality, full moon in Pisces. So but look at how how beautiful that balance, spirituality and practicality, two things which are usually opposing, but here they are, the two fish in their divine dance. So when we start to bring that balance between how logical we are, how planned we are, our practical side of ourselves with the intuitive, evolved part of ourselves, we get this amazing dance of where we're meant to be and how we're meant to flow. And it just effortlessly also starts to draw towards us. Let me just get this page. So, according to Yasmin Boland, it says, balance, spirituality and practicality. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. And Pisces is very, very dreamy. Meditate on the question, or your particular question, and the solutions to your issues will now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting like the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everybody else's sake. Attune with the moon. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. The answers will come. The additional meanings for this card is follow your intuition, it will not let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is your soulmate. Avoid any substance abuse, or you're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. The teachings of this card is Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So this is what I was talking about before. So when the full moon is in Pisces, it symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever this card is pulled, it's at a time to dive deep into the emotions. Also, with practicality being at odds with the Piscean energies, where Pisces have no borders and no limitations. So feel which way you are. I'm just going to pause my little reading here. Feel where you are. Are you being limitless in yourself? Are you expanding your dreams, and are you making practical steps towards that? Or do you feel like you're limiting and you're feeling like, oh, I can't reach my dreams and I don't know how to take the next practical steps towards that? Or is it something in your subconscious? Notice what your dreams, your actual dreams, have brought up for you lately. So that will be something to have a look at. I'm going to go on with what Yasmin Boland writes. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and it is a good time to connect with your soulmate. It is also a good time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing any fears. Remember, full moons are also good for forgiveness and releasing fears, and I know I certainly got to work on that kind of stuff as well. So balancing spirituality and balancing practicality, and I love that Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest, planet in our solar system, and we, the Earth, are pulled by Jupiter, dragging all of the rest of us in its own orbit around the sun. So if it wasn't for Jupiter in its mega expansive space, Earth would be a nothing, So let's expand to those greater parts of yourselves. I'm just going to do a little intention here for that Jupiter aspect, that expansive, limitless part of ourselves. And we'll ask that for the collective consciousness. What do we need to know? Ooh, my hands just start tingling. I'm going to go with this. The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. That's funny, I really wanted to wear purple for today, and this was the only purple shirt that I had. So this is the card. The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. It may seem dark or gloomy, but just have a look at that little wayfarer, that pathfinder that's going in to that beautiful space. I don't know if I went too close up then, but I really want you to feel like, that the dark, the doom and gloom can be over now. Let's have a read of what Rebecca Campbell says for this particular card, the initiation, rite of passage. And it's interesting because it looks like darkness and storms, but it's still a well-lit path. Above you'll see lightning and all the ominous. And I feel like the Earth consciousness right now is going through shifts. I mean, banks are going through shifts. There's election in the US. There's, there's always that tumultuous time, and all these things come to the surface when we're in these cycles of massive change. There are divides of thinking around a lot of things, and the way we see currency and even our central banking, digital currencies and these kinds of things. We could be looking at a very different world, but at the same time, we are the creators of our reality. We are the ones that inspire the world and our days and our energy and direct that prana where we want to put it, or that chi, that life force. And when we put our energy on things that we want to attract, we automatically start to bring them in to our subconscious and bring them in to our sphere, whether it's energetic at first and emotional as we start to believe and feel it, and we start to vision it and see it. And then we start to actually see little signs in the physical three-dimensional world, and then it actually becomes something that comes to fruition. So the basic steps of your manifestation. Now I'm talking too much. Let's find the card. Bear with me a moment and think about what it is that you want to bring into your manifestations. What is it that this lifetime you are being initiated to bring in? And it's so crazy, I cannot see this. So there we go. So here we go, the initiation. I'll hold the card up. The initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Some of the most sacred initiation chambers and temples look scary from the outside, but are breathtakingly beautiful on the inside. This represents the journey that the soul pilgrim is required to take to reach somewhere sacred, but only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now. You are being tested. You are initiated because you are headed somewhere sacred. Initiations require that we cross a threshold from one world or one state of being to the next. We are called to face what scares us and have to be willing to lose it all in order to gain a new way of being, of safety, of security, of depth, and of meaning. Initiations, like rites of passages, mark the shift from one age to the next and can take place because of emotional turmoil, great loss, grief or devastation. But it is through the seeming hardship that our heart cracks open and our spirit is invested to step forward. We take the sacred voyage into more of who we are and who we came here to be. It can be painful, it can be scary, but once we begin the journey, we can be more ourselves than ever before. If you're in the middle of initiation right now, you will get through it. And one day soon, you will bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. You are going somewhere, and you are going somewhere sacred. It'll be worth it. And you are closer than you think. Wow, I love this card. The light activation says, it is your rite of passage to cross the threshold. So whatever this means for you, whether this is something within your wheel of life that's related to health, or if it's related to wealth or career, or where you live, or paradigms of thinking, or your belief systems, or things from the past that have held you back and limited your mindset and have made you created a place where you were small, you had to break out of that. I went through that quite a lot in myself, and I have to expand myself and reach those higher sort of spaces in myself of what I can actually create on planet Earth. So for myself, this crossing of the threshold, it really, I've been really tuning into the last 7-year cycle. So look at where you were 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and see where you are now and what you're about to birth into after these 7-year cycles. I'm really strong on these 7-year cycles currently. There's a feeling of huge completion, and wherever that's happening in your life, is it a time of completion in your career? Is it a time of completion with family or certain people? Is it a completion with where you have created one aspect of your entire life and your journey and you're ready for a whole new chapter? Pisces gets to really, really illuminate that feeling of a new and dreamier place. But do stay with the 2 feet on the ground in practical manifestations. Do put those practical, logical guards in place, or guards or procedures in place that make you go, right, this is what I need to attend to. This is my intentions. This is my backup plan for A, B, C, D if this doesn't work. This is the money that I've allocated on this particular thing. This is the contingency plan I have for that. If my new future looks like this. And, you know, what my friend Eddie Goodchild, shout out Eddie, was talking about, you know, expect the best, but prepare for the worst. But always expect the best. And that's the Pisces dreamier Jupiter part of you that can expect the best. For me, personally, this last couple of days, I've been really spending time in myself, imagining best case scenario in my life. What does that look like? Making music in a studio. Where am I? By the beach, or am I inland? How does it feel? How warm is the temperature? Who am I with? How do I travel? Do I finally let love into my life? You know, I've been asking myself these big, scary, Piscean, romantic questions. You know, can that be a part of my world? You know, so these are interesting things that when we look at phases of completion, where you were 7 years ago, you know, big completion times. So have a look back at that. Ask yourself where you can balance your practicality with your spirituality. Ask yourself where you can be limitless and actually use that Jupiter expansiveness. Ask yourself, what are the practical steps? If there is a threshold for you to cross through, expected or unexpected, if things in the world, politically, economically, and if things feel like they're going to change, or where do you feel like you need to be? There are a lot of people changing the way that which countries they live in at the moment. So there's a real consciousness shift that is currently happening. We're moving away from the consumerism. We're moving away from that mindset. We're starting to liberate ourselves in different ways of thinking. It's an interesting time to be alive in this world, and you get to be the pioneer of your own creative reality that you choose. Use this Pisces full moon to your advantage and enjoy the dreaming of it, and also take those practical, grounded steps forward so that you can live it. My name is Meera Allen. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And I'm trying my best to stick to new moon, full moon, and doing some manifesting videos in between to help your life be amazing. And subscribe, do the bell thing, get notified, because I'm not going to spam you guys. And I love you all heaps. Namaste. Happy full moon, super full moon, and blue moon in Pisces. Namaste.